Hey guys, it's Emily. Today we are going to learn about depressants and inhalants. So after this presentation, you should be able to answer the following questions. Number 1, what makes a substance be considered an inhalant? And number 2, what was the depressant of choice during the Prohibition era? So let's start off by learning what depressants and inhalants are. Depressants are substances that slow the messages going to the brain. They slow reactions and can affect everyone's coordination and concentration differently. Unlike what their name suggests, they do not cause a person to be depressed. When used in a medical setting, they can help to induce sleep, prevent seizures, and to help relieve muscle spasms and anxiety. Sometimes depressants can be referred to as downers. Depressants can be taken orally, drank, injected, or inhaled. Inhalants are substances that can only be inhaled. These substances are easily found in homes and workplaces, but are not considered inhalants until they are used for the purpose of getting high. When inhaled, they cause mind-altering effects. So what are types of depressants? The most common kinds are alcohol, benzodiazepine, and GHB. Xanax and Valium, among others, are both benzodiazepines. GHB, which is gamma hydroxybutyrate, is known as the date rape drug. There are a variety of street names for depressants, with the most commonly known being roofies, barbs, benzos, liquid X, and tranks. Being that you are all in college and or of age, I'm sure you have seen or heard of the movie called The Hangover. And if you remember, they took roofies, so we will let Dr. Stu educate us a little bit on that.
Told him it was ecstasy.
Roofing, there you go with that word, roofing. Roofing. What the hell is a roofing? Wow, you are the world's shittiest drug dealer.
Rufalin, for your information, is the date rape drug. You sold Alan roofies.
Oh shit, I must have mixed up the bags. My fault, Alan. Damn, Marsha gonna be pissed off at me on that one.
Whatever.
It's funny, because just the other day, me and my boy, we was wondering why they even call them roofies. You know what I'm talking about?
No, don't know what you're talking about.
Why not Floyd's, right? Because when you take them, you're more likely to end up on the floor than the roof. What about Brandy's? That's a good new name for them.
Or how about rapies? Wait, what did you just say? Rapies, not you. Doug, what did you say before?
So next we move on to inhalants. Inhalants are categorized into 4 different categories: solvents, aerosols, gases, and nitrites. Solvents are liquids that become gas at room temperature, such as WD-40. Aerosols are always in their gas form, such as hairspray and spray paint. So, what's the history of depressants? Alcohol, which is the most commonly used depressant, has been found to have been used since 10,000 BC, when beer jugs were found dating back to the Stone Age. The first benzodiazepine was accidentally discovered by Leo Sternbach in 1955. In 1960, benzodiazepines were made available by Hoffmann La Roche, which is a company that creates medications. GHB was synthesized in 1974 by Alexander Zaitsev. Today, there is a wide assortment of synthesized depressants available. And then we move into the history of inhalants. Inhalants have been used since ancient times. They were used in Egypt, Babylonia, which is present-day Iraq, India, and China. Inhalants were used to alter consciousness and during religious ceremonies. In the early 1800s, nitrous oxide, ether, and chloroform were used as intoxicants. In the 1920s, ether became the recreational drug of choice during the Prohibition era. During the 1940s, the use of solvents, primarily gasoline, was used for recreation. The 1960s brought on the term of solvent sniffing, as it was the popular way to go. That brings us to the present day, in which glue and gas sniffing are popular among homeless children in South Asia, Mexico, Eastern Europe, and Kenya to numb the pain of hunger, cold, and desperation. Gas and spray paint sniffing is also commonly used in remote areas of Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand, and some Pacific islands. So what are the effects of depressants on the body? Depressants affect every person differently, and there is no safe level of drug use. All drugs pose a risk to using them. Some low-dose effects of depressants include enhanced mood, slowed reaction times, slowed breathing, and impaired judgment. High-dose effects, on the other hand, can include vomiting, memory loss, coma, and even death. Effects of inhalants are a little bit different. Inhalants usually only create the high effect for a short period of time. This causes users to inhale a larger volume and more frequently. Short-term uses of inhalants can cause slurred or distorted speech, a feeling of euphoria, vomiting, and a headache that lasts a while. Long-term effects of inhalant use can result in liver and kidney damage, brain damage from the cutoff of oxygen flow to the brain, and nerve damage that can cause loss of coordination and limb spasms. So most depressants in the United States are considered to be controlled substances and are thus covered under the Controlled Substances Act. Although Arkansas does not have any specific laws regarding inhalant use, 24 other states in the United States do ban the use, possession, sale, and distribution of inhalant products. In these states, inhalant use is often a misdemeanor, with fines ranging from $25,000 to $10,000 and jail time of 30 or less days up to 6 years in prison. Depressants and inhalants are abused in order to reach the feeling of euphoria. And like other drugs, people who abuse them often develop a tolerance for them, which means they have to take more to reach that euphoric feeling that they crave and are looking for. There's all of our resources used for this presentation. So now that you've learned all about depressants and inhalants, you should be able to describe what makes a substance be considered an inhalant and what the depressant of choice was during the Prohibition era.